Stonecutters Podcast. Aaron Hankins
Will Catlett
in the building.
in the building.
What's new with you?
I got my shades on tonight, man. Last time I came with the shirt and tie. Now I got the Teddy Pendergrass Marvin Gaye shades on. I'm smoother than smooth.
Mm-hmm. And you made me put on a shirt too. I was as I was getting ready to come into the recording booth. I was like, I remember what Will was wearing last week. I gotta step my game up and put on like a button-up shirt. But it's actually interesting, considering the situation is that we're in right now. It's just like I haven't put on a button-up shirt in almost a month now. So got to make sure that it still fits. Mm-hmm. And then also, like we're dressing for success, man. We're dressing for where we want to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, how do you feel? Because I'm used to seeing you in a hoodie, and it's that whole Aaron Town, that flavor.
Yeah, it's in my closet, so I'm comfortable in it. I don't keep anything in my closet that I'm not comfortable in. So it's a different perspective.
Whoa! Break that down. I don't keep anything in my closet that I'm not comfortable in. Explain that.
I don't have a lot of shoes. I don't have a lot of clothes. And the clothes that I do have, there's two things that I focus on. It's quality and comfort. Mm-hmm. Comfort is the touch, the feel, the material, how it fits on me. Comfort is how comfortable I feel in it, how it makes, like you get things, and the more that you wear them, the more comfortable you are in them, things like that. So everything that's in my closet has been curated, and it's something that means something to me. If it's an all black button-up shirt like this one here, an all black button-down shirt, I should say. It's not a button-up shirt. Button-up shirt, they don't have buttons on the collars, on the lapels, I should say. Button-down shirt has buttons on the collar. Everything has a purpose. It means something to me. So if anything that I grab in there, I know that it's gonna feel good. It's gonna be the utmost quality, and it's gonna be something that I like. So with shoes, I have 5 pairs, and before I buy a new pair, I get rid of a pair. Now for clothes, it's a little different. I try to fit things in where I can, but for the most part, when I get a new pair of pants, I'm getting rid of an old pair of pants. If I'm getting a new shirt, I'm getting rid of an old shirt. So I'm not really looking for clothes unless I have a shirt that's got a hole in it, or it's torn, or I can't fix it, or it doesn't fit me anymore, or something like that. So I'm just selective like that. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. What's the significance of this black button down shirt? Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's a staple. For a while there, when I first got to Nike, I got rid of all of my button-up shirts on my button-down shirts. I really didn't have any collared shirts at all. I was just wearing T-shirts and hoodies for the first 2 years. And what was happening was that we would go out somewhere and to a restaurant or something, and I just didn't have anything to fit in, so to speak, or just to sort of look the part sometimes, or you just want to get dressed up, and I just didn't have a shirt. So I went and found a black shirt. It goes with anything. I can wear it, for most any occasions. You can dress it up, dress it down. It's versatile. It's one shirt, and I can use it for 5 or 6 different situations.
I got you.
Got me. All right.
Nah. Reason why I asked, because I do the same thing when it comes to when I go for a new job. I always buy a new pair of shoes. Every single job. And if I'm in between jobs, I will get a shoe that's an in-between shoe. So like what do you call it? Like it won't be just like a basketball sneaker, it'll be like a cross trainer. Because I'm in between 2 jobs, and I'll always give away a pair of shoes too. And even with my closet, I understand that there's a principle that you can't put new wine into old wineskins. So sometimes you want a new closet, but you won't give away old clothes that's occupying the same space. So you got to get rid of the clothes in order to get new clothes.
Yeah.
One is an act of faith, and one you're creating the space for it. So a lot of times, you know, the people that we talk to on the Stonecutters podcast, you know, might have to readjust and curate their closet again, or to get rid of things so you can embrace the new things that are coming in.
Well, it's like the metaphor of just being able to transform and change from one thing to another and grow out of a set of skins and into a new set of skins, like you're a snake or like a butterfly or things of that nature, where you just you're shedding. You know, you're shedding a layer, and then a new layer is coming out, and then you cut that one, and then you got something else. So the same thing goes with clothes and goes with mindset as well. So it's like, as we're talking to people about where they're at, it's like trying to get rid of those mentalities that are just taking up space in your mind, and replacing them with things that are more positive, things that are closer to moving you forward.
Give an example.
Right now, I think that anybody who's listening to the podcast, anybody who lives with somebody other than themselves, has in the past month or so been judgmental. And judgmental it's not curious. Curious is like, hey, Will, why did you do it that way? And judgmental is like, why did you do it that way? And we've all been there, and we're all, you know, in close quarters, and we're trying to figure each other out, you know, our partners, our roommates, you know, our parents, our children. We're trying to figure everybody out, right? So to get rid of the judgment and to replace it with the curiosity, you know, and it's just like, oh, okay, like you do it this way. Well, is that a better way than the way that I do it? It's different than the way that I do it. Judgment is to say that something is right or wrong. Staying curious is staying with the thing that we always talk about, which is the beginner's mind, which is like to seek to understand and to seek to learn more about something, because we're all at the end of the day trying to, you know, learn how to be better. Anybody who's listening to this podcast is curious and eager to get better and to get action back into their life. And by listening to us, you know, the goal is for us to create action and to get people to do things, whatever it is, whether you want to become an actor, you want to become an engineer, you want to become, you know, a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, any of those different things.
I think the key to that too, which I loved about what you were saying, is I know for me, I know a great deal. I have over 10,000 hours when it comes to acting, but I never go into anything like I know it all. You know, sometimes if I'm around people who may not even be as wise or have the same amount of experience, I'll always play dumb, like I don't know anything, because they may know 1% of what I don't know. So if I come into it, you know, oh, you know, you do it like this, you do it like that, or this is how you do it, then you can't leave your mind open to learn something new. So the key is to know nothing, because you really know nothing. But you know something, but you know nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Stonecutters Podcast. You can listen to the Stonecutters Podcast on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Stitcher. You can send us questions, topics to stonecutterspodcast@gmail.com. You can visit stonecutterspodcast.com. We have audio, video. We've got a library up there. We've got a bunch of different things up on the website. So Will, since we've become more intentional with the podcast since the start of 2020, we've been meeting every week. We've been recording a new episode every week. We've been releasing them, you know, on about a weekly basis. And me and you just had a discussion before we got on the podcast this week, and we're talking about trying to help people that are trying to push to try to get to a new level. They're trying to level up. They're thinking of whatever goal that they're trying to go after. They may be stuck. Right? So the discussion that me and you had is what's a level up look like for our podcast? You know, we've 25 episodes, we're headed to 50, we're going to do 100, all those different things there. But what are the things that we want to achieve in terms of our podcast and what our reach is? And I propose to you that, like, in the moment that we are in time right now, everybody is in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot more people are getting on video conferencing. A lot more people are doing podcasts. A lot more people are giving interviews. And one of the people that we've always talked about as one of our aspirational goals for the podcast was
LeBron James.
LeBron
King
James.
LeBron. King LeBron.
Yeah. So we were talking about how we could get LeBron James on the Stonecutters podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And as an aspirational goal for everybody that's listening to the podcast, we want to sort of walk you guys through the process of how we're approaching this big goal.
Mm-hmm.
And in a hopefully to give you some guidance on chasing your big goals, whatever they may be. So, Will, the first thing when you're chasing a big, audacious goal is you want to write it down. And I think me and you have written it down multiple times. It's in our notes on the podcast. It's probably in our own personal notebooks. But after you write something down, one of the things that I always like to do is question why.
Mm-hmm.
So to ask you, why do we want to interview LeBron James on the Stonecutters podcast?
Why not? As Russell Westbrook would say.
Well, then why not interview Russell Westbrook?
We got to interview him too. What I was saying off air is that LeBron represents a stone of perseverance, a stone of excellence. So as we are talking to so many different people who are on the rise, and the great thing about the Stonecutters podcast is that you get to see the process. So right now we're planting the seed to one day have LeBron on the show. So the why is for people that is listening, and for us, it is to know that it's possible, and to know that everything that you're trying to do, you have to start small. So right now we would just toss around the idea to be dope to get LeBron on the show. But now that we have wrote it down, we have set it in stone, and it's no way that he's not going to be on the show. Now, the thing is, people give up because what if it take us 10 years? What if it take us to the 100th episode to get LeBron on the show? It doesn't matter how long it takes. Now we have a goal that we're trying to reach, and we have to just keep cracking at that stone. And sometimes you may not even know your why. Your why may come in the moment. But we decided to say, okay, it'd be nice to have LeBron, or not nice, it'd be dope to have LeBron on the show, because think about all the stuff that he can give our Stonecutters. Think about what he can give us because he's been through the process. The young kid from Akron came out of college and, at the top of his game, his body, his work ethic, his marriage, how to balance two sons. I mean, it's 2 sons and a daughter. There's so many things that he can give us. And there's so many things that we can give him, the audience, to talk to other people. There's some questions that I might ask that be killer, So I don't know. I'm excited, man.
Well, don't you think that we would have to, at least this is my understanding, and maybe you have more media experience, but if we were to ask him questions on a podcast, would we have to give him the questions ahead of time? Or would it be something that you would rather it be free flowing where we just get into a conversation with him?
Well, usually like his PR people will probably say he's not going to answer any questions related to marriage. He's not going to answer any questions related to this and that, So there may be some stipulations there, or it may not be. You just have to cross that bridge when you get there.
Okay. So Will, as you were talking, some things that reminded me, like of a long time ago, I said that I wanted to work at Nike.
Yeah.
I wanted to work at Nike, and I want to work at Nike. I want to work at Nike. And there was a day when there was a switch, when you switch it from I want to work at Nike to I will work at Nike. Mm-hmm. I am working at Nike. You're already you're bringing it closer and closer to yourself. So one thing that I would say as we continue to talk about getting LeBron on the show and having LeBron interviewed on the show is that we focus on our vocabulary and change. And this is where to the listeners, write it down, figure out your why may come into play at a later date. and then set your vocabulary and really be mindful about the words that you use to try to bring things closer and to not discourage them and to push them away. And we've talked about this before, like, I didn't get this job, I didn't get this one, I didn't get this one. And it's like, no, they weren't that wasn't the right role for me. That wasn't the right, spot for you. That it wasn't where you were meant to go. Like, thinking about it in a different perspective helps. One thing that me and you are doing without even knowing it is by speaking it onto a platform, onto a podcast that other people are going to listen to, and they're going to come and ask me and you, and they're going to say, hey, how are you going to get LeBron on the show? I can't wait till LeBron's on the show. We're actually holding ourselves accountable. So when we talk about setting big goals and audacious goals, writing it down, setting your vocabulary, holding yourself accountable by telling as many people as you can, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are all steps. When we talk about stone cutting, we talk about just chipping away, right? So that when LeBron comes on the show, it wasn't the 101st blow that brought him onto the show. It was all the 100 blows that came before that.
Mm-hmm. You know what's dope about that too? On LeBron's back, it says chosen. Chosen. It doesn't say maybe chosen, want to be chosen. It says chosen. So the reason why I bring that up, because you talked about basically being a magnet and drawing things to you by the vocabulary. When you say things like maybe, or words that don't invoke action for things to come to you as if you already have it, because you really already have it, you're just waiting for the manifestation of the thing.
Yeah.
So when you're saying I want to work for Nike, it's not strong enough to be a magnet, because it's no definite. It's two in the air. It's in between.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about working for Nike. Well, you're thinking about it. You can think about something else. Maybe Nike will hire me. Maybe kind of means no. But I am working for Nike.
I will be working for Nike.
I will be working for Nike.
I'm going to be working at Nike.
I'm going to be working at Nike. It builds the steps for you, even though you can't see the steps, because it's forward movement. So when he has chosen, every time that he gets in the game and he about to take that last game winning shot, you know what he's saying in his mind? I'm chosen. I'm chosen. So even if I miss, I know it's going to come a time where I'm going to make it. I'm chosen. So my why of getting them on the podcast is LeBron has something to give to the people about his mindset, his work ethic. What made you put that tattoo on your back? When was the first time that you realized that you were chosen? So these are the things that, we need to hear so that we can create our own path. That's my pitch to LeBron James, King LeBron, with my shades on, stunting on this joint right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So to continue the discussion, I think that moving forward, to be completely transparent with everybody, is that me and Will are going to put together a plan on what we need to put together to reach out to LeBron's team, to figure out what we're going to talk about and, the preferred format. But I think that I bring all of this stuff up because right now is probably the best time to do this, with the season being on pause and with an opportunity where we could potentially get somebody on the phone for a 30-minute discussion or conversation. So
Nah, man, when we talk to LeBron, it's going to be when we have our live situation.
Okay.
It's gonna be live, and LeBron gonna be in the building. And what's his thing that he has at Nike? More than an athlete. We're gonna be giving giveaways. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be the biggest of the biggest. We're gonna roll the red carpet out for the king. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna roll the red carpet out for the king. All right, I'm juiced. People gonna think I'm high with these glasses on. But you know what? I'm high on life. You know what I'm saying? I'm high on getting LeBron on the Stonecutters Podcast. That's what I'm on.
Now, I'm a MJ Kobe, and then a LeBron guy.
It's all good.
So Will, talk to me like what can we give LeBron?
What can we give LeBron? Everything. There's things that are going to come up in us, especially me. Like there's things I can give LeBron. I don't know what they are just right here, right now. But I know when I open my mouth, the Lord will fill it and I have something to say. So right now we can give him the platform to reach back to the kids. Not calling our Stonecutters kids, but to reach back to people who are in the process. So we're giving him an opportunity to build legacy, because people going to remember him playing ball like the MJ and the Kobe Bryants and the Michael Jordans. But what people are truly going to remember is what you deposit into the hearts of humanity. That is legacy. So he gets an opportunity to live forever by being on a show like this, because he's given us tools and stuff to use, and his legacy becomes a part of us in our heart. Okay. Man, I'm killing this pitch. I'm killing this pitch right now. This pitch.
So as a good transition there, Will, I think that
it's a Stonecutters Podcast.
Stonecutters Podcast. Listen to us on a bunch of different platforms: YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. Right. I've left out Spotify the last time we said it. Send us comments, questions, suggestions. If you know LeBron, put us in touch with LeBron's people so that we can expedite the process to get him on the show.
Also, real quick. What's dope about why LeBron will be on this show? Because he's going to remember what it's like to be what we are right now. See, he's at the top of the mountain. The way we're looking at him now, there's another mountain that he's trying to get to that we don't know, whatever his Mount Rushmore is. But he's going to look back and say, man, I remember when me and my moms was just, we ain't really had no food in the house like that. We was just in the process. Or I remember this, that, and the third. So he can understand and relate to what we are right now. Because think about it, the Stonecutters Podcast, we've only been doing this for what, 2 years?
Yeah.
2 years. We won't even have all the bells and the whistles yet. I can't even hit you with a button and say Stonecutters Podcast. I can't even hit you with the buttons yet. You know what I'm saying? So he understands what it's like to have the bells and the whistles and what it's not like to have the bells and the whistles. You see what I'm saying? You feel me?
I'm listening. I'm picking up what you're putting down, bro.
I feel like Stevie right now, the way I'm slaying, why I'm slaying this pitch,
Okay, Will got some energy tonight, y'all. Will is on one. So Will, going back to,
because I get excited, Aaron. I get excited about greatness.
Okay, so Will, let's go back and let's envision the pitch. Okay, we're in the boardroom. Mm-hmm. LeBron's on the other side of the table. We're on the other side, and his people are like, why should we be on the Stonecutters? So you've been a part of pitches before, Will. So explain to our listeners, what is a pitch? How does it work? Mm-hmm. And then just start talking and I'll ask questions.
Yeah, well, I'm still in the process of pitching. I haven't pitched a show to a network yet, but I know the process. You call it an elevator pitch. You got to have your log line. What is basically why does a network want to pick your show in a matter of a sentence? But the truth of the matter is this: that's cool and that works, but people want to work with people who they want to work with, who they like. So what's the relationship? So instead of trying to pitch LeBron in a way like that, maybe you get cool with his boy Rich and they feel like, oh man, Will and Aaron, man, they some real dudes. They really about this. They ain't fake, they ain't phony. They really trying to help the people. That pitch is stronger than me telling LeBron, hey man, I got the Stonecutters Podcast. We really want you to be on it. Yeah. How many times he getting that pitch? Can you come be on the show? Can you come do that? It's just like when Kobe was on the Smoke Joint, right? Mm-hmm. Steven Jackson, what I'm saying, Matt Barnes joint, and it was like, oh no, we're gonna reach out to Kobe. Said, no, let me reach out to Kobe. Kobe gonna come on the show because he know us. So it's easier when you have a relationship.
Okay.
So I might walk in the room and LeBron may know me already. He may say, "Oh, that's the old boy. Was on Love Is Black Light? Man, you be killing it, bro. I see what you're doing. I've been following the hustle out, da, 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 da." I'm like, "Yeah, man, that's what's up. I've been following. I appreciate all the positive energy that you've been giving me too. Bro, I got this podcast. We would love to have you on. Go listen to this episode where we talk about having LeBron James on the Stonecutters Podcast. And holler at me and rock with what you do, man. But keep up the good work, man. Tell the wife I said what's up. Tell the kids I said what's up. Bronny got it. The son coming, your daughter, all that good stuff. I'm going to holler at you, my G. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. That's it. I should have put these glasses on tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling myself.
For those of you listening and not watching on YouTube, just to reiterate, Will has a pair of sunglasses on, and they are giving him extra special energy.
They're giving me the energy now. And make sure y'all subscribe to the Stonecutters Podcast on YouTube. Make sure y'all do that. Mm. So what other questions you got for the king tonight? I'm in my LeBron James aura right now. What you got for the king? I'm chosen.
I like that, but to jump off of LeBron for a second, and there's something that you said a minute ago around pitches, and you have to condense everything down into a sentence or less. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about people going after what they want, whatever that is, the more condensed it can be, the more one sentence it could be, how you can just encapsulate where you want to be and what you want to do in as few words as possible, is the most effective way to communicate your message and to get people to understand what you want to do. So
exactly.
And then you said something also about creating relationships. Mm-hmm. So just like when you started in the movie and film, TV, acting, you had to start reaching out to people. You went to a class, and then you met this person, then you met that person. And the same thing with me at Nike. It was like I knew one person. I told people that I wanted to work at Nike. They sent me this person, and from there you start to develop your network, and you start talking to this person and talking to that person. And eventually, when the opportunities do come up, it is really about the relationships that you've built. So how do we start to develop a relationship to with LeBron, or do we just keep pushing and every once in a while reach out or send an email, or what do you think is the kind of chipping away at it? Like, how do we continue to chip away at this goal that we've set?
Exactly what we're doing right now. You're closer than you think. Even to just say we want to talk to LeBron, it's not by coincidence. Vince the barber who cuts my hair, he's cut LeBron. He's cut majority of the Lakers. He cuts Kyle Kuzma. So it's nothing to just, holler at Maverick, holler at them. They're not touchable. It's about the preparation for when the rubber meets the road. It's about we being at a place and creating value for ourselves. So when the time comes, it's an easy ask. We got to create the value. So right now we're depositing something in the piggy bank. We plant the seed in the ground. Now we just water it. Yeah, man, got this podcast, boom, boom, boom. And it'll come organically how it's supposed to come. But we already planted the seed. It's just that we just don't give up on it. We don't start not watering it. So man, you may be thinking, okay, when we do meet LeBron, or you may even run across him at Nike. And look, I was out there with you. I flew out there to, I got to tell this story. It's crazy. It's a true story, hand to God, right hand to God, true story. I flew out to see Aaron when LeBron was out there because I wanted a chance to meet LeBron. I didn't get a chance to meet LeBron. He was doing the kickball thing, remember? When I came out to Nike, and I got to see the Nike campus. I got to chill with my boy. First time going to Portland, it was killer, right? But when they talk about athletes and stars like MJ, Elvis, and people having an aura about them, I remember it was about to rain. It was cloudy the whole day. So I didn't even know if they was going to have the kickball thing. I'm telling you this story. I'll tell you the truth. My right hand of God, I'll tell you the truth. They say LeBron's coming. It's coming up on a golf cart, right? I kid you not. The sky opened up and the sun began to shine as LeBron is coming in. It was almost like the sun was waiting for the king to arrive. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But see, we've already been planting the seed. Remember, I bought my plane ticket. That was a seed. To come out there to see you, to spend time with you, and to get an opportunity to see LeBron. Yes, I didn't get a chance to talk to him, shake his hand or nothing like that. But I was there with a purpose in my heart. People were there just to see LeBron. I was there to meet LeBron and eventually get LeBron on this. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So really, this is not really the first seed that we planted. And that was when I come to see you 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago. So this tree ain't beared fruit yet. But right now, we watering the tree. You know what I'm saying? So it's a done deal. We already had the meeting with LeBron, man. It's already done. Stonecutters Podcast, man.